Hello, Tony Bradshaw with AddSomeToYourIncome.com, here to talk about how you can become the uncle who is seen as having the money, being the rich uncle. Really, I'm just talking about what's happened over the last week, which are opportunities that I've had to give money that I did take. Not just with my niece and nephew, which I will talk about. I will start out by talking about the giving that I did yesterday. Let's dive in. So, yesterday was my wife's birthday. Birthdays are a great time to give and receive. I like to give on my birthday. I was actually telling the story of my mom on her birthday. Her last birthday was her 60th, and she was giving things to us as they were on the move and gave us things. My students are like, "You Bradshaws are quite strange. You give things away on your birthday?" Yeah, we give things away on our birthdays. Anyway, yesterday, being my wife's birthday, I gave to her. It was enjoyable to give cash as well as two gifts. That feeling of giving is opening up, being that person who realizes, I have plenty, let me give to you some things that you can enjoy. As I told you in many examples, when you give, you receive more. The evidence that you'd like to find on that can be found through the studies done and reported. Best place I've found them reported is in the paradox of generosity. Giving, we receive; grasping, we lose. In there, it talks about when you are giving, you put a key into a lock that the universe holds to free up the universe to give back to you. You feel it as well when you're giving. When you're genuinely giving and feeling that you're giving, you have a feeling that happens that opens up your heart and allows for blessings to come back to you that comes around. I remember once talking about this, and a person came up to me afterward and was like, "Yeah, it's the law of circulation," which I didn't know it by that term. I've read about it and know it in other ways. But that, if you know it that way, that's what it is, the law of circulation. When you open up your fist and give, you then see the funds that return to you. And not just funds, other great experiences as well that can happen when you give. You might give money and then receive certain experiences. I remember once giving on Hat Day. We had a hat day where you'd wear a hat to support something. And that day it was because someone's house had burned down. They were renters and they didn't have renter's insurance. So the homeowner was going to get the house replaced just fine. But these renters lost their things in the fire. And we had a hat day. And I remember going down to put money in for the hat day. It was, if you wear a hat, the suggested amount was $1. And I didn't have $1 in my wallet. So I skip out to the truck. I find all the coins I can. I think I had 87 cents. I remember feeling those coins in my hand. And I remember when I went down there and I gave the coins, how that felt. Like, oh, that's what it feels like to give. And I'm giving that money, thinking that's the last coins from out of my truck. I hope I don't park anywhere there's a meter anytime soon. And I'm feeling the letting go, and realizing I don't even have $1 in my wallet. I have no money in my wallet. I'm a teacher. And I remember feeling that, and immediately I was given this really cool hat, which really looks like a wig. It's mohawk, red, white, and blue. And I've got this thing on my head, and kids all day are like, "Yo, yeah, awesome, Mr. Bradshaw. Dude, can I wear your hat?" No. I'm thinking lice. They're thinking you're not very nice. And anyway, at one point, this kid comes up to me and asks to wear my hat. I am tongue-tied. My hands are going to my head, and I'm thinking, no, 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 no. I said, take off the hat and hand it to this kid. He puts it on. He's running around. Yeah, man, and awesome. His friends are like, "Can I wear it too?" Finally, I get my voice back at that point. Give me back my hat. I'm like, "What? Just." But well, first of all, it's amazing I got the hat right away. But then this moment just happened. What was that? Well, a week later, we're sitting in leadership meeting, and I sit on leadership because there's a leadership stipend, so you get a little extra money, a little bit of time, a little bit of money. It's a nice deal. I like to know what's going on first anyway. So I'm sitting there on leadership. We're talking about how much money we brought in and how touched the family was that they received it, and that our sister school gave money, and how very touched they were. And we eventually get to the point where one of the teachers says, "Yeah, Alex didn't even know it was for his family." I was already about to the point of tears, and then that was said, and you can guess it. Alex was that kid. I give, and things happen. If you give, things will happen. The whole premise on this is to be that rich uncle who's giving. I'm getting to the point where I keep putting money into, of the 5 bank accounts, there's one Save to Give, and I keep putting money into the Save to Give spot. Save to give, save to give, save to give. There's money there for me to give. You should try this. It's a great thing. Set up a bank account where all that's in there is money you're going to give away. You're telling your money how it's going to flow, because money, they call it currency for a reason. It's a flow. It currents. It's probably not the right verb. It flows. It has current. It moves, right? It circulates. Having this account that I'm going to give makes it so that when people ask me, "Hey, do you want to give?" But before the niece-nephew request, a few weeks ago, I had someone that I'm in contact with who had a stroke, and they were doing their, annual fundraiser, and I got this email. In the past, before I had this account where I put money to give, I was irritated by these emails. I was bothered that people are asking me for money. I'm mine, right? And when I got this request a few weeks ago, I was like, I'm going to give. Why have money if you can't give it away? That's what I've said before, right? And so I gave. And the person sent me a personal note thanking me for giving to the cause. All right, here's the story. My nieces and nephews send me this email, and I can tell they just copy pasted. I can tell that it's not really them speaking because it's so well done, right? They are in middle school, I believe, and are they middle school or are they high school now? Let's see. I think they're both high school. It must have been for the high school. Anyway, the email was saying that they wanted to get some things done at the school with this money. And they're listing things like athletics supplies and things for the music and blah, blah, blah. It's both. It's interesting how those emails happen. It feels so specific, but it's also so vague. Like, I don't know what they're actually going to get. But I do know that I want to be seen as the uncle who gives. And so I click on it. I make sure it's a secure site. I make sure it's valid. It looks like it's legitimate, right? This is legit. And I donate the $20. I'm giving. I get an immediate email that says the standard thank you. In that email was a nice link to a beautiful receipt that prints out to show that I gave to the school, and this is how much I gave, and that works great for the taxes later, which isn't always the reason to give, but there's kind of that added benefit when I go to report at the end of the year. I gave, this is how much, and here's the receipt to prove it. And I just have this feeling. Now, it's interesting because this just happened this week that I haven't actually interacted with this niece and nephew yet. We haven't seen them yet. They haven't sent me a personal note either. And that's all okay because it's the feeling that I'm feeling. And I can tell something's going to happen. There's going to be another moment in my life where I'm finding my hands going to my head and I'm tongue-tied and something the universe is going to do for me. I've seen money come back when I've given. I've seen experiences come back when I've given money. I've seen it happen that when I'm giving, I receive more. And I call it a quadrant. A quadrant. You got the 4 sides. Let's see if I can get my hand where you can see this well. So like up on this side is you give money, you receive money. Over here, you give money, but you receive experiences. Down here, You give experiences, but you receive money. And over here, of course, you can just give experiences, receive experiences. When you are giving, you can see where it could fall inside of the quadrant. That was just a little extra bonus thing for the people who are staying clear to the end, the giving quadrant. Expect, and I think that'll be one of my next videos, is more details on the giving quadrant. For now, I hope you will also choose to be the uncle who gives, so your niece and nephews see you as the rich uncle. I look forward to seeing you on the other side.